Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is part 6 of my little comparison with the DJI Mini 3 Pro against the Autel EVO Nano Plus. I have a ton of footage, as I've mentioned in part 4 and 5, and I can't show you everything, so I've squished this down to 3 episodes. This episode's all about the cameras, so check it out. The Mini 3 Pro and the Autel EVO Nano Plus both have quick shots. Next, we're going to take a look at quick shots because the DJI Mini 3 Pro has quick shots and so does the Autel EVO Nano Plus. So let's see which ones you prefer. Let's take a look at the ones on the Mini. So taking a look at my screen, you can see we have, do I have them all here? Yeah, there we go. We have Droney, we have Rocket, Circle, Helix, and Boomerang, and we have Asteroid. The key thing about these quick shots is you have to select a target before you make the quick shot work. There's a bench over there, and I'm going to see if I can do a quick shot on that bench. Coming up to the bench, there we go. I can see it in the shot, so let's see if we can select it. It says tap plus or draw a box around the object. So can I do it around this? I'm trying. Drawing a box. Did it work? Yes, it looks like there's a box around the bench. So I'm going to do a quick shot on the bench. Circle's probably the best one because then I can orbit it. That makes more sense. Obstacle avoidance obviously doesn't work, so I'm going to have to take it up a bit. And it's up to me to ensure that the target is still in frame. There we go. It's going to circle to the right, and I just have to hit start. 3, 2, 1. And there we go. It shouldn't hit any trees. Hopefully it keeps that bench in the frame. That's the great thing about quick shots, is that you don't have to pick yourself or another human or a car. You can pick your pet as long as it sits still. The object has to be still and stable and not moving around. So there we go. We have quick shots happening. And of course, it doesn't go forever. It just stops. It only goes for a small piece of time because it wants you to take the footage, put it on your cell phone, and ship it off to family and friends and say, look where we are, look what we're looking at right now. That's what it's designed for. Next up, we have the Autel EVO Nano Plus. Here we go, we're looking at the Nano Plus, and take a look at the quick shots right here. You can see them. You have flick, fade away, rocket, and orbit. My favorite is flick, but I'm just going to show you orbit. We'll do the exact same thing. Put a box around the park bench. You'll see they work exactly the same. And we can spin it in the same direction or the other direction, but I'm going to make it go the same direction. And I just hit the go button and just hope to heck it doesn't hit anything. I'm looking over here. No, I don't think it'll hit anything. 3, 2, 1, go. There she goes. So it goes around and around and around, and hopefully it doesn't smash into anything. Oh, it does say there's objects behind, but everything else looks good. So this is the great thing with quick shots. You can use them for anything while you're on vacation. Now let's see if it does just like DJI and stops. And yes, it does. It stopped right there. Completed. There we go. So you only get a little bit of video with the quick shots. So as you can see with quick shots, there's no clear winner between the two. Both cameras can shoot 4K video, but how good is the resulting image? Next thing I'm going to do is throw both drones up at the same time. So I've got the Autel Nano Plus up there, right, the Mini's on, and I'm going to go put it up next to the Autel Nano Plus. I'm gonna put them side by side. If you hear a clunk, that's because they crashed into each other. So this is your video comparison with the lighting that we have right now. So I can see the green there. So I'm putting both images side by side. I can switch between them, but this is what the lighting looks like. Take a look at this color. I'm probably far away. So let me see. I'm gonna hold it over my head and get close. This is yellow. Does it look blown out white because the sun's shining right on it? Hang on a sec, let me do this to it. Tilt it this way, tilt it this way. Which one is showing the true color of yellow? How about we put some black on the yellow? So there we go, we got yellow in the center and black around the sides. How does that look? There we go. So there's your video preference. Both of these are at 4K 30 frames per second. And you can decide which image you prefer with the lighting that's happening right now. Now, for most of you viewing this right now, you're probably not seeing much because the images are rather small. You're probably watching this on your cell phone with a resolution of only 1080p or a tablet, very low resolution. So I'll explain it for you. This is the full screen image from the DJI Mini 3 Pro. Does it look pleasing to your eye? Do you notice anything out of place, or does everything look perfect? How about the image from the Autel EVO Nano Plus? Does it look better than the DJI Mini 3 Pro or worse? Okay, I'll help you out here. Take a look at those white lines. Take a look at the bush, the trees in the back, and the sky and the clouds and everything else. Look at the detail, you know, how sharp the image is, how blurry the image is. Now let's switch over to the Autel EVO Nano Plus. And once again, look at those white lines, the bushes in the back, the clouds, the color of the sky. Does it look different? I think so. To my eyes, the EVO Nano Plus has more dynamic range than that of the Mini 3 Pro. So that we can see the details much better, I'm going to crop the image by 50%. You can see that a 50% crop of the image from the DJI Mini 3 Pro holds up very well. It is a very soft image, but it still holds up very well. You can easily read the words Insta360 on the landing pad, and the colors of the landing pad are not blown out. They hold up quite well in the sunlight. Having a look at the image from the Autel EVO Nano Plus, we can see that it looks equally as good, if not better. You will notice that the blades of grass stand out better, you will notice that the colors pop more, and you will also notice that it's even easier to read the Insta360 logo. Here we have some more comparisons. Take a look at the top right of your screen to see which drone shot the video. You will notice, as I've mentioned before, that the dynamic range on the Autel is a bit more vibrant than that of the Mini 3 Pro. And now a low light video comparison. So this is a good example of dynamic range and presence. This is the video from the DJI Mini 3 Pro. Take a look at those 3 trees I'm pointing at. You would not even notice them in this image if I hadn't pointed them out. But the EVO Nano Plus pulls the bright fall colors out and they stand out against the green background. And yes, that is the DJI Mini 3 Pro up in the air. And over here we have the EVO Nano Plus as filmed by the DJI Mini 3 Pro. Now let me point out that many of you may have a different taste in the image you're looking at than the general public, and that's simply because it all comes down to the device you're using to view this video on. You won't be able to see all the colors and you won't be able to see the full dynamic range. As an example, I bet you can't see the detail in the trees to the bottom right because YouTube squishes it all together in compression. Same here, this is the video from the Autel EVO Nano Plus, and I bet you the bottom right just looks all dark and squished together. And at the same time, I bet you the sky looks phenomenal. So in summary, if you're going to shoot video with either of these drones, I think you'd be happy with whichever one you get. I will say, in my personal opinion, the Nano Plus does have more dynamic range than the Mini 3 Pro, and you're only going to see that when you start taking photos of like sunsets, sunrise, or like you see here, the sky. Look at all the colors the Nano is picking up. And now some night video examples. Now when it comes to nighttime photography, both of these drones have very tiny sensors, so you're going to get a lot of noise in the image, but you know, it's acceptable for YouTube or sharing on social media. This is a DJI Mini 3 Pro, it looks awesome. This is the Autel Nano Plus, and the same thing, it looks awesome. Keep in mind that both mini drones require a very bright light source in order for them to film. This is why all videos you'll see on YouTube of a low light test with a mini drone, it's always filming a cityscape. And as you can see in this video, if it wasn't for the car's headlights or the street lights, then the image would pretty much be all black. And now a photo image quality comparison.
We're going to do this. It's too hard to hold both the controllers at the same time, so I'm going to do it on the Mini first. I got to take a photo holding this Insta360. Actually, I'll hold it this way, so the yellow is not so bright. And this is a 48 megapixel photo on the Mini. Here we go, looking at the camera. And now I'm going to try a 50 megapixel photo on the Autel Nano.
Now let's analyze those photos. First, we'll begin with the DJI Mini 3 Pro. First off, you can see the pixel height and width. It's a little smaller than that of the Autel Nano Plus. Starting with the EXIF data, you can see that the camera used auto exposure to take this photo. Next, we have the shutter speed. You can see it was extremely fast due to this camera not having a manual aperture. The fixed aperture is set at 1.7, so no matter which photo you take, it's always at 1.7. For some unknown reason, the Mini 3 Pro thought it was cloudy outside and adjusted the white balance to reflect that, but it doesn't seem like it hampered the image. And it used average metering, so it took the brightest and darkest spots and just averaged them out. It also used the lowest ISO possible possible, which is correct for a bright sunny day. And of course, auto white balance was used, which I'm surprised it came out this good since it did pick cloudy. And finally, if we check the GPS information, we'll see that it did include all the GPS relevant data. Now let's do a bit of pixel peeping and look at the image actual size. Now please note I am viewing this 48 megapixel full resolution photo on an Apple Studio 5K monitor, and I'll say it looks pretty good. I have placed this image into context compared to much more expensive cameras. It's coming from a very tiny drone with a very tiny sensor with a fixed aperture and a plastic lens. You can't expect too much, especially at 48 megapixels. You can see here the trees are a little mushy, it's missing some sharpness, but you can easily add the sharpness in post. But who's going to view an image like this at full resolution? Most people are going to view it on their cell phone, tablets, or computer monitors, and it's going to look phenomenal. Okay, now let's take a look at the Autel EVO Nano Plus. First off, we have the pixel dimensions. You can see they're a little larger than that of the Mini. The Mini was at 8064 times 6048. Next, we have the aperture value, and it is a fixed aperture, just like the Mini, so it's stuck at pretty much f1.9. The camera used auto exposure for best settings. Just like the Mini 3, since it has a fixed aperture, a fast shutter speed was used. The camera used the metering mode that gave it more weight for anything that was closer to the center of the image. The camera was also smart enough to realize this was a landscape photo, so it changed to landscape. And of course, the camera used its own auto white balance. And finally, the Autel EVO Nano Plus records all the GPS data in case you need to use it in the future. And now let's do a bit of pixel peeping on the Autel EVO Nano Plus. The first thing I notice with the image is that the software in the EVO Nano Plus is applying an awful lot of sharpening and an awful lot of correction to the image to enhance it to make it look as good as it looks. But you can only notice this when you go to the actual size. Here when we look at the trees, you can see they look kind of like a watercolor image tree, like someone painted them with a paintbrush because of the overcorrection of the sharpening, the color correction, the auto correction, everything else. When you zoom out and look at the whole image as you would on a cell phone or a tablet or a laptop or computer monitor, then it looks really good. It's only when you zoom in you start to notice, yeah, it looks like a little bit too much correction's been applied. So if I compare the two zoomed in images, you can see the difference. So here we have the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I'm going to switch over to the Autel EVO Nano Plus. And again, here's a zoomed in image of the DJI Mini 3 Pro looking at the trees. And when we go over to the Autel EVO Nano Plus, they kind of look a little bit watercolory. Now, if the Autel Nano EVO Plus allowed you to take the same photo in RAW at that massive resolution, then you would have no correction from the camera and everything would look great and you can manipulate it yourself, except as you can see here, you can't shoot a 50 megapixel photo in RAW. Strangely though, the DJI Mini 3 Pro does indeed allow you to take a 48 megapixel photo in RAW. However, it's not real RAW because when I compared the RAW image to the JPEG image, they're almost identical, so all the correction is still added in RAW on the DJI Mini 3, but at least you can do it. So there you have it, you're back to me. What did you learn from this video? Well, you should have learned that both of these drones are really good for the tiny little package they are. They are not professional drones, they're not even prosumer drones, they're basically your cell phone thrown in the air taking videos and photos. That's pretty much what you're getting with these little guys. There's a lot of technology in them to make them do what they do, and I find they do it quite well, so you cannot go wrong with either drone. If you need to know more about either of these drones, watch my full review. I have a full review on the Nano Plus, I'll put links to it below, and I have a full review on the Mini 3 Pro, and I will put links to it below. Watch both of those and you'll be able to make up your mind about which one you want for you. So with all of that said, I say thanks for watching parts 4, 5, and 6, and I am not making a part 7, 8, 9, 10 because I have other things to review and show you different videos of different products. I could go on reviewing these forever and ever, comparing them, but I'm not going to do that. Like I said, go check out the other videos, but I will put links to both of them below. I think they make an excellent Christmas gift or birthday gift or Father's Day gift, so you might want to pick one up. They are expensive, but that's what you get. Right now, the going price on this, I'm putting it right above this drone, and the going price on this, I'm putting it right above this drone. So check out the links below and see if this is the drone for you. And thanks for watching this video. If you have questions or comments on the video, just post them below and I'll get back to you. But for now, I say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in a future video with many more products and reviews. Until then, I say bye.